Hi, welcome to my channel Ruby Knit, Crochet y Tejidos. In this video I'm going to teach you how to knit this beautiful and easy hat. It's absolutely gorgeous. I hope you guys like it and give it a try, and here is the list of material you're gonna need to make. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe and click on the little bell, that way you get notification each time I upload a video. Remember, I make my videos in Spanish and English, so if you receive a Spanish video and you want to see in English, go to the main page of my YouTube channel, you will find the English version in there. To make this hat, I'm gonna use loops and thread impeccable, medium 4, 100% acrylic, 127.5 gram, 260 meters, and the color is Blue Moon. You're gonna need some markers, double pointed needle for the decrease at the top of the hat. These are the 5 needle set. They are 5 millimeter. You're gonna need measurement tape, tapestry needle and scissor, and I have here 2 different size netting needle, a 4.5 millimeter for the brim and a 5 millimeter for the top of the hat. These are from my Shagu set, and the description box below I'm gonna leave the link where I bought this one. The cables that I'm using are the shortest cable. They are the 8 inches. They're the ones that are perfect for hats. For this hat, I'm gonna leave a tail long enough to cast on 81 stitches, 80 for the design, and the extra one is to close the circumference. So I'm gonna leave a tail long enough for that. I'm gonna wrap in here. This is the 4.5 millimeter netting needle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. 20 and 20 is 40. 40 and 40 is 80, plus a little extra for the extra one and a tail to lose later. You're gonna do a slip knot like this. It's very easy. You wrap your yarn around your finger, you cross it on the top, and this one that you cross on the top, you're gonna pass it through the loop, and when you pull, you have a slip knot, and you're gonna cast on your 81 stitches. Now, if you want this hat smaller, you can remove 16 stitches because it's multiple of 16. And if you just want it just a little bit smaller without removing those 16, you can change your needle size. You can work the brim with a 4 millimeter and the top with a 4.5, or with a 3.5 the brim and the 4 millimeter at the top. Or you can do the entire hat if you want a little bit bigger with a 5 millimeter, the brim and top. I'm using the 2 different sizes because I want the brim a little tighter than the top. Or you can do the entire hat with a 4.5. You don't need to use 2 size needle. You can use 1 size for the entire hat. So like this, I'm gonna cast on my 81 stitches, the long tail cast on. Once you finish casting on your 81 stitches and you do a knot to secure the last stitches, we're gonna work on a 1 by 1 rib. We're gonna do the super elastic rib stitch, and we're gonna work the first row with the work open, and then in the second we'll close our circumference of our hat. So in this one, what you do is you knit 1 and pass the purl without working. Knit 1, pass the purl without working. And I've done this stitch many times before. It's really nice for a brim because it's nice and elastic. So you're gonna knit the first one, and you're gonna bring yarn to the front as to purl, and you're gonna pass this purl without working. Yarn to the back and knit, yarn to the front, you're going to pass this purl without working. yarn to the back net, yarn to the front, a purl without working, yarn to the back net, and yarn to the front. You're gonna pass the purl, you see, like a purl, but you're just gonna pass it, and yarn to the back and net. Like that, you're gonna continue working in this row, and you start with a net and you're gonna finish with a net because you have odd number stitches. Once you finish, we're gonna close the circumference, and to do that you're gonna pass the first net stitch to your right hand needle, and the last stitch that you did, you're gonna pass it over, and you're gonna cast it off, and you're gonna pull the tail, and that tied the stitch in here. You can place the marker now if you want by passing this one back and back again, but I will do the marker later in the next round. So now you're gonna pass the net without working and purl the purl. So that net counts as the first net without working. Yarn to the front and you're gonna purl that purl. You're gonna pass the net without working but like a purl. Yarn to the front, purl. Yarn to the back as to net, and you're gonna pass the net without working. Yarn to the front, purl. Yarn to the back, you're gonna pass that net without working but as a purl from the front strand. You're gonna purl the purl and pass the nets, all with the yarn on the back when you pass that net. Like that, you're gonna continue all the way until the end of this first round. And the last stitch, you see I have my tail in here, the last stitch is this one. That's a purl, and then the first one is this net and this side, you see, at the tail, because I pass it to this side and the tail now is on the other side. So that is the purl, and then there I forgot to mention is that make sure that this is not twisted when you close the circumference of your hat. I finished the second round. Now I'm gonna place my marker. And I'm gonna mark that I did 2 round because I'm gonna work the third. This is gonna be a little bit different brim. And what you're gonna do if you don't have something to keep the progress of your rows or round, you just write it down on a piece of paper which one you're doing. So I'm gonna work on number 3, and in number 3 you're gonna net the net like a regular net and purl the purls. Net the net from the front to the back and purl the purls. And that's what you're gonna do in round 3. So you're gonna repeat what we're gonna do in 3 and 4 until you have the desired width for your brim. I finished number 3. Now we're gonna work number 4, and what I did in 3 and I'm gonna do in 4 is the repetition, 3 and 4, 3 and 4 until you have the desired width. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna pass the net without working. Yarn to the front, purl, yarn to the back, the net without working as a purl. Yarn to the front, purl, yarn to the back as to net, and pass the net without working. And that's what we're going to do for the brim. In one round you net and purl all your stitches, and the next one you pass the net without working and you purl the purl. You always, in all the rounds, you're going to purl the purl, okay? That's why I mentioned that you have to keep track to know which row you're doing. So like that, you're gonna continue working. But if you don't want to do this, you can knit the net and purl the purl on all the rounds. It's just that I wanted to do something different. So I will meet you here at the end of round 4. I finished round 4. Now I'm gonna work on 5, and it's the repetition of 3. You're gonna knit the net and purl the purl. Knit the nets and purl your purls. So in the next one, and number 6, you'll repeat number 4, that you'll pass the net without working and purl the purls. You always purl the purls, okay? And you're gonna work your brim or border of your hat until you have the desired width. For mine, I'm gonna do around 2 inches, from 1.5 to 2 inches. So when I'm done my border or brim, I will meet you here. Remember to keep track which round you're doing, that way you know in which one you will pass your net without working, if you're doing the same brim as me. I wanted to mention as well that the 1.5 to 2 inches is from 4 to 5 centimeters for the width. I finished the brim, and look how gorgeous this look with that change of passing in one row the net without working and working in the next one. They look amazing, and it's very, very stretchy. And for now on, each time I do a 1x1 rib, I will do it like this because I absolutely love the way I look. With this, you can do the entire hat with that stitch, or you can use the stitch for the border of a sweater, a cardigan, anywhere that you do a 1x1 rib. You can do it like this, and the definition of those net, it look much better. Okay, so I did 2 inches for my border, 12 rows or rounds in total. Now if what you have are the circular needle that they are you don't can, you see, remove, you'll start in the first row of the design of the hat changing needle size if you're going to change them. If you have these interchangeable, what you do is you remove them from here, remove this one, and just switch them around. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch my round counter to 0 because the repetition of the stitch is a 16 row or round repetition. So I want to keep track of each round that I work. The stitch that we're gonna do is very easy. It's the wavy rib. I already had that stitch in my channel. I just did the stitch swatch, and it's really easy. It's beautiful for sweater, for hats, cowls. You can work them straight or in the round. So it's a 16 round repetition for the entire motif, but it's very easy because what you do in row or round 1 and 2, you repeat until 8. Those 2 rounds until 8. And then what you do in 9 and 10, you repeat until 16. So it's very easy. So to start, you're going to start with 10 nets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. You're going to do 2 purl, you're going to do 2 nets, and you're going to do 2 purl, and that's 16 stitches. So what you do now, again, you repeat those 16 stitches. You'll do 10 net, 2 purl, 2 net, 2 purl, and again over and over until you finish with 2 purls. Once again, 10 net, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. 2 purls, two net, and 2 purls. And again you'll repeat that. 10 net, 2 purl, 2 net, 2 purl, until you get to the end that you finish with 2 purls. I finished row 1 or round 1, and I record this little 16 stitches in Spanish. Now I'm gonna record the other 16 in English because it's exactly the same. So you're gonna start, let's pretend that you have the marker here. You're gonna start with 2 net. You're gonna do 6 purl. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You're gonna do 2 net, and that's 10 stitches. And now you're gonna work in the 6, and they will be exactly the same as you did in row or round 1. 2 purl, 2 net, and 2 purl, and 16 stitches. So you start here, this 16, 2 net and 6 purl is 8, plus 2 net is 10, and this 6, 16. And then you start all over again. 2 net, 6 purl, 2 net, 2 purl, 2 net, 2 purl, and over until you get to the end. Again, you're gonna do 2 net and 2, 6 purls, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You're gonna do 2 nets, 1 and 2, 2 purls, 2 net, and 2 purl. And like that's the repetition that you're gonna continue over and over until the end of this round 2. round 2, and I did the 16 stitches in the repetition of 1. I record them in Spanish, but it's exactly the same as round 1. Let's pretend again that you have your marker here, and you're going to start with 10 net. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and you're going to do 2 purl, 2 net, and 2 purl. Remember, the repetition of round 1 and 2 is what you do until round 8. So it's a very easy pattern to follow. I did one other repetition of round 2 here in round 4. I'm recording in Spanish. So you're going to start the round with 2 net. You're going to do 6 purl. 4, 5, and 6. You're going to do 2 net. You're going to do 2 purl. 2 net. And 2 purls. And that's your 16 stitches, and that's what you're gonna do until the end of this round, and you start to see where the stitches go. You see, net purl, and the 6 there. So I'll meet you here at the end of this. So I finished round 4 with a repetition of 2. So now you're gonna work in 4 more rounds. So that will be 5, 6, 7, and 8. And in 5 you do repetition of 1, and 6 repetition of 2. And 7 repetition of 1, and 8 repetition of 2. After that, I will meet you here to change our stitches around. That's what we're going to do for this design. You just change the position of the stitches. And it's very easy. I finished that last round. That was number 8. And it looked like this. Now we're going to change the stitches around. I'm going to start from the beginning, that way we can count the stitches. We're going to start with 2 net, 2 purls, 2 net, and 2 purl, and that's 8 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And the last 8 you're gonna net. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And that's your 16 stitches, counting from the marker here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So that's 16. And now that's the repetition that you're gonna do. You're gonna knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2. That's 8. And knit 8. So the 8 nets are these ones in here. Again, you're gonna start with 2 net. 1 and 2, and then you're going to do 2 purl, 2 net, 2 purl, and that's your 8 stitches in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then you're going to do 8 nets. and that's just 16 stitches. And that's the repetition that you're going to do over and over until you finish round 9. And 16. I'm gonna start number 10. I already did the 16 in Spanish. So you're gonna start where you start your round with a marker. You're gonna knit 2. You're gonna purl 2. You're gonna knit 2 and purl 2, and that's 8 stitches. Now you're gonna knit 2 and purl 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and that is your 16 stitches. Now you're gonna knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 6, purl 6, sorry. And that's the repetition that you're gonna do over and over in round 10. Now in round 11 we're gonna do the repetition of round 9, and you're gonna start with 2 knit, 1 and 2, 2 purls, 1 and 2, 2 knits, 1 and 2, 2 purls, and 8 knits. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And you start all over again. 2 knit, 2 purl, 2 knit, 2 purl, 8 knits. And like that is the repetition you're going to do in round 11. That is the repetition of 9. Now in round 12, we're going to work the repetition of 10. And you're going to start with 2 knits, 2 purls, 2 knit, 2 purls, 2 knits, and 6 purls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now you start again. 2 knit, 2 purl, 2 knit, 2 purl, 2 knit, 6 purls. And that's the repetition that you're going to do in round 12. And from there you're going to repeat those 2 round repetition, 9 and 10, until you have 16 round. Once you have 16 round, I will meet you here to measure. Here I have my full repetition of the motif. And I'm going to continue working now with repetition of round 1 to 8, and then so on. As well, I'm going to be measuring my piece. I'm going to work until I have 5.5 inches. That's 14 centimeters. You can work 14, 15 centimeters, give it or take. And I have worked already almost 4.5 inches, a little bit shorter of 4.5. So I'll continue working until I have my 5.5, and then I will start the decrease of the top of our hat. So the repetition that we're going to start now is the repetition of round 1. That's 10 knit, 2 purl, 2 knit, 2 purl, and then repetition of 2, and so on. Now this motif will be at the beginning again. And then it is an absolutely gorgeous stitch. So start those repetitions, work until you have 5.5 inches, 14 to 15 centimeters give or take, and then I will meet you here to start with a decrease. It's a very easy design to follow. If you don't remember what you've done so far, you go back to the part of the video where I start at round 1 and work again those repetitions. So I'll work in the little piece that I need to work, and then I will meet you here to start with the decrease. I have the length before the decrease for the top of the hat. I did one motif of 16 round plus 8 more round, that's half a motif. Now I'm going to work on the other half, and I'm going to start with the decrease. The hat measure 15 centimeters, a little over 5.5 inches, and I'm going to start with a repetition of round 9, and that's when we start our decrease. I already did a decrease in those 16 stitches in Spanish, so let's pretend that this is the first marker, this one. So what you're going to do is for the repetition 9, you're going to knit 2, you're going to purl 2, knit 2, and purl 2, and that's 8 stitches, so we have 8 more for 16. But now instead of knitting 8, you're going to knit 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and these two will be 7 and 8. You're going to knit them together. That will be 15 and 16 together in a knit stitch. You're going to place a marker, and you're going to continue with that repetition. You're going to knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, knit 6, and 7 and 8, that is these 2 purl here, you will knit them together. And that's the repetition of our first round of decrease. I'll show you one more time. You're going to knit 2, you're going to purl 2, knit 2, and purl 2. That's 8 stitches. And the next 8, and instead of knitting 8, you're going to knit 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7 and 8, that is these 2 purl, you're going to knit them together. You're going to place a marker, and you're going to continue with that repetition. We're going to work on repetition of 10, and we don't going to do any decrease in this round. 1 and 2, 2 purl, 2 knit, 2 purl, and 2 knit, and in the pattern you're supposed to do 6 purl, but now since you did a decrease in the round before, you only have 5, so you're going to do 5 purls. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Pass the marker, knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 2, knit 2, purl 5. And that is how you're going to work the repetition of 10 with no decrease. So we're going to be decreasing in one round, and in the other one we don't. So in the odd number, the repetition of 9 we decrease, and the repetition of 10 we don't. That's how we're going to work our stitches. I finished that round with no decrease. Now we're going to work a repetition of 9 and 11. And you see, again, in the odd number round, you're going to do decrease. That's when you have to net at the end. So you're going to start with 2 net, 2 purl, 2 net, 2 purl. You're going to net 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 and 7. You're going to net them together. You see the 2 stitches before the marker, you're going to do the decrease. And that's how you're going to continue in this round of decrease. The round after that, repetition of 10, you will do 2 net, 2 purl, 2 net, 2 purl, and then you will do 2 net and 4 purl because you're going to decrease 1 stitch and you'll only have 4 purl to work with. And like that, you're going to continue with the decreases over and over, doing those 2 round repetition. When I don't have any more purl here, I will meet you here. I will work off camera because it's exactly the same what we've done so far in the round before. The 2 rounds before is what we're gonna do for the decreases. I don't need to make the video longer just by showing what we have done. So when I don't have any more purl here, I will meet you here to continue the decrease because we have to decrease all the stitches almost until we have 2 left in here. I decided to show you the decrease anyway in the repetition of 9 and round 11, just in case you're a beginner. So you're gonna net 2, you're gonna purl 2, net 2, purl 2. Now you're gonna net all the stitches until you have 2 left, that there will be 2 together. See? You're gonna knit until 2 before the marker. It's very easy to do this decrease. And 6 and 7 together. And you do the decrease, and like that will be the repetition that you do in each space between the markers. So I finished that round of decrease. Now I had to do the repetition of 10 with no decrease, and so on. We'll continue working 1 round of decrease, 1 with no decrease. And once I don't have any more purl here in this side, I will show you what to do next and how to continue with the pattern of this stitch. I finished that repetition at the other half of the motif. I finished with round 16. Now I'm going to start with the repetition of round 1 again, and I will continue with the decrease. All is decrease in the odd number round. So I had to do 2 together, and these 2 I will net them together. So I will net all the stitches this time. This 10 plus these 2 together. In the next round I will continue with the stitches in here where I'm supposed to do the repetition of 2, and that will be purls. I will purl this 6, net 2 and net 2, and I will net that one. I will keep knitting that one in the next round, and you will continue with your decrease until you have only 2 stitches left. So you will work as you're supposed to in here. And when you don't can work anymore with the circular needle, you will change to the double pointed needle, but you're going to continue with the decrease until you have like 8 stitches left. When you have 8, and then you will decrease in all the round. Okay, you will do 2 together at the end, 2 together at the end, and so on. Here I have 8 stitches left between each marker. So now I'm going to decrease in all the rounds, but I'm going to continue with the repetition of the stitch. I'm going to start the repetition of round 9, so I'll continue with the design in here, but if you don't want to continue with the design, you can net all your stitches until you finish. We're going to decrease, like I mentioned, in all the rounds now. So I'm going to remove the markers, and I'm going to work with my double pointed needle because I don't have enough space in the cable to continue with the circulars. So I'm almost done, and I'm going to remove all this marker, and I'm going to place this one to mark the beginning and end. So I finished placing my double pointed needle, and I'm going to continue with the decrease. I had to do the repetition of round 10. If you want, you can continue just with net stitch. You don't have to continue with the stitch. For mine, I'm going to continue with the stitch until the end. So I'm going to do 2 net, 2 purl, 1 net, and 2 together in a net stitch, the last 2. And like that will be this repetition. And the next one, I will do 2 net. Okay. 2 purl and net 2 together and a net stitch. Then I will have only 4, and so on. You're going to continue to decrease and do the stitch that you're supposed to do from the row before, you know, to continue with the design. And then when I have only these 2 stitches left, those 2 net on each space, that will be the last round where you're going to close with the tapestry needle, the crown of the hat. And absolutely love this stitch pattern for the hat. They look gorgeous. So now I have only the stitches left that I said, the 2 net on each space. Remember, I have 4 here because a marker was in between, but it's 2 and 2 in each space. I'm gonna cut a tail, and with the tapestry needle I'm gonna close the top of the hat. And I absolutely love this hat. It's gorgeous. Now what I have to do is loose this tail inside this one, and I will sew my little tags, one of the tags, and then I will show you the end result. So this is what I have left from that ball of yarn. So if you want to do 2 hats, you have enough for 2 hats, but what I'm gonna do the neck warmer that match the hat to do a set. I'm gonna start with the same ball of yarn with this one. That way, if I have enough with 1 ball for the set, it will be perfect. But if I don't have enough, I will grab another ball of yarn of this color and I will continue. But I wanted to start with this. That way I know if we want with 1 ball, you have enough for the entire set. Okay. If you lose the tails, that you don't see them, this hat can be reversible, because look how beautiful it looks in the inside, very different than the outside. Let's see. You don't see the tails or what I saw in it. So it's perfect for a reversible hat. And in the outside, it look different. The stitch. It is gorgeous, and I love the way I look in that crown, especially if you continue with the stitch. I'll be making more of these for Christmas present this year, because it's a very easy pattern to follow and really fast. And you can make these for any family member or friends, because it's unisex and can be done for kids or adults. Well, this is the end result, and I absolutely love this hat. It's a gorgeous stitch and very, very easy to do. And they look amazing. Well, I hope you guys like it. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you are not already a subscriber. And if you make this beautiful hat and you want to send me some pictures, you can do it through my Facebook page, RubyNet Crochet y Tejido, or my Instagram, RubyNet Crochet y Tejido. Please share my videos with friends and family. That way you help me grow here in YouTube. I wish you have a beautiful day. Bye.